Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're gonna continue build this rock crawler. This video is gonna be a little bit more interesting than the previous one. It's just more disassembly. Here we're actually gonna kind of see the vision start to come together. Gonna put the cab onto the frame, put the axles underneath, position the engine where it's potentially gonna be, and it's just gonna be more in general. We're gonna see what the truck is kind of gonna look like. Let's get to it. We have to modify this frame. So we got 24 inches in between these frame rails, and that's a little bit narrow for what, it's a little bit more narrow than I'd like. So I want this to be 30 inches from here to here. Okay, so the game plan is divided these tubes in half, put a mark for the center, got this straight edge here. I'm gonna tack weld it on that end, make sure this side is equal to this side here. It's not the most scientific way to do it, but we'll see what we can do. Let's see how much it moves once we cut this right here. Look at that. We are at 24 3/4. We started off at 24. So that's a good sign. I'm gonna cut a slit and take out a little pie cut from there and bend it out a little bit and then tack weld it. And then I'll have to do the opposite side on that. But yeah, I'll get it all tacked up and then take my measurements, and if it's good, I'm gonna weld it up. Just that little cut gave us quite a bit more wiggle room. So with just 3 notches on each side, we ended up with 36.5 inches. So what happened here, since we straightened this one out, since this one already has a bend and it's pointing the other way. So we're gonna take a measurement, make sure these are both centered to my little jig. Throw a little cross member, temporary one, and then we'll do this same cuts here to bring them in line. So I skipped the boring part for you guys, but I made those cuts right there. There, I did 3 passes each, and so we got front cross member there, 30 inches on both sides, got 30 inches from here to here. The frame is all finished up. This is the final product here. Almost final product. I'll be putting fish plates here to strengthen any area that I cut. And let's see, frame weighs just about 180 pounds. Now, I'm gonna move this out the way. We are gonna place the cab where I want it in the garage and then slide the frame right underneath. Got the cab lifted up in the air, and it weighs a little over 400 pounds. A little heavier than expected, but it is what it is. Let's get this thing positioned in place. Let's throw the frame right underneath it. We got the cab on the frame. I got it all squared away. I think this is where the cab is going to land on the frame. I'm going to have to build some temporary supports supporting the frame to the cab on both sides and in the front as well. I don't want to make anything too permanent yet, just in case I might have to move the cab back or forth a little bit. So let's cut out some pieces of tube, weld them up, just tack welds though. All right, let's get this cab temporary mounted. I got these round tubes for the rear, some angles for the front. Let's get it mounted. I think it's good enough for the rear. Let's get the front. All right, cab is successfully temporarily mounted. These are just temporary. I will be adding or making body mounts. This way we could isolate some of the flex and the road vibrations. Yeah. This is a part of the video that I'm excited about. I want to show you guys the axles that I've built. I've built these axles before I started working on the K truck, just because I had the garage fully open, had these things torn apart, and I had plenty of space. So this is a 2005 and up Dana 60 from a Ford Super Duty. As we could see, the diff is on the passenger side. I had a local guy in the area convert it from driver drop to passenger drop. Let's start off from the brakes. This is a custom brake setup that I've come up with. I've seen it done before. There was a guy, I believe Lugnut Off-Road, that was prototyping the kit, but it never went into production, so I just kind of used his ideas. But this is what we have here. This rotor is from a 1999 through 2004 Ford Super Duty rear rotor. So this is a Sterling 10.5 rotor. Also Sterling 10.5 caliper. This matches the whole rear setup of a 99 through 04. The advantage of this is we have one, a smaller caliper, two, smaller rotor. So we got a little bit less weight, and I think the problem that I'm gonna run into on this K truck is the braking. So I don't really have that much real estate to put a conventional brake booster and a master cylinder in there. So I'm kind of downsizing the size of the brake system. I think they're way overkill anyway. So this is the reason why I went with this brake system. For the lockouts, I'm gonna run factory Ford lockouts, at least for now. I've had good success on my 4Runner with them. The reason why I want to run them is because you can actuate them from inside the cab, just like the Ford intended. So there's vacuum that runs into this port right here. We pull vacuum and it locks in the hub. Since I won't really have a way to disconnect the front axle, I'm gonna try to incorporate that. Moving on, we have American Iron ball joint deletes. I think this is a must. I've seen a few pictures of what happens when these things break, and it's not a pretty picture. For the steering arms, I have Off-Road Anonymous steering arms. The truss is a modified Barnes 4x4, Barnes 4-wheel drive truss, which I had to modify because of the passenger side diff. For gears, I have 5/38. It's got an ARB locker. Axle shafts, I'm running Chromoly 1550 shafts. The steering arms are set up for full hydro system. We have this big old mount here. We're gonna have a double-ended hydraulic ram. Gonna connect to both of these. I've never ran full hydro before, so this is gonna be an interesting experiment. That is almost it, and I will be running Toyota drive shaft, so I do have a Toyota flange on there. Other than that, it's pretty simple. I think this type of axle from a 2005 and up Super Duty is probably the best bang for the buck that you can get. Moving on to the rear axle. This is a 10.5 inch 14 bolt. This is one of the newer styles. These originally came with factory disc brakes. We've turned this into a 13 bolt by chopping off about yay much on the bottom lip. Up top, we have a slim profile Barnes 4-wheel drive truss along with their pinion guard and their bridge here. We're running a torque locker in the rear. It's one of the lunchbox ones. Fairly on a budget, and figured, I mean, $300 compared to an ARB. I think this is gonna be fine. We're matching the front with a Toyota drive flange. The brake system on this is pretty interesting. Check out these brakes. This brake system is from Range Industries. The nice thing about this is we have a electronic e-brake right here. So with the flip of a button, we get electronic parking brakes. It's really hard to incorporate e-brakes on a off-road vehicle. I mean, it's doable, but this is by far the easiest route to go. This kit right here, it comes with rotor and the mounting flange. You have to buy the calipers separately, brake pads separately, but for $500, I think this is a pretty good deal. To match the width of the front axle, I have to run a spacer. Other than that, that's basically the 14 bolt. This axle did give me a little bit of trouble. So I don't know if it came pre-bent from the factory or if it warped when I was welding this truss. But when I was done welding it, I was looking at it, I was like, something doesn't look right. It looks a little bent. So I had my buddy 3D print me some pucks. I bought a solid rod and was able to see if it was bent, and it was bent. So let's take a time travel machine back to the past and see how I fixed it. What's up, guys? So I done goofed on my 14 bolt while welding the truss on. I guess I didn't wait enough between welds, so we warped this thing. It's about 3/16 of an inch warped on each side, going like banana style. I'm gonna try to fix this. I know you can take it to a shop, but see if we can do it on the cheap. So I had my buddy 3D print some of these pucks, and I got 1.25 inch solid rod. The plan is get an I-beam on here, chain it up, put a bottle jack underneath, heat up this section right here, and try to straighten it out. This is what we got going on so far. Got the axle up on the I-beam. Got these pucks on the inside, and as we can see, we are off by quite a bit. Gonna have to heat the axle right here. I already cut the truss here so we could bend this. Once I pump this up, it's gonna want to unbend this way because we got it chained down this side. This side, let's get it heated up and see what we can do. We got this thing dialed. Look at that. Fits like a glove. There we have it, folks. We successfully straightened out our axle with 3D printed pucks, a $90 solid rod, and I think it's perfect for what we do, rock crawling and all that. Pretty sure a whole bunch of people when they weld on trusses and all, they don't even know that it's warped, but it probably is. In this case, I could visually see that it was warped, and I was like, ugh, okay, I need a cheap solution to get this thing straightened out. I did get these axles weighed. So this axle weighs 416 pounds. The front one weighs 500. Damn, I forgot how much it weighs. Let me check real quick. 562 pounds. So now let's get these axles, throw them under the frame. So the rear axle is gonna live somewhere around here, I believe. We'll see once we get the motor in, see how much room we have. If I can, I would like to bring it in a little closer, but yeah, we'll see how long drive shafts are. We'll see what the wheelbase ends up being, and let's get the front axle in there first. Axles are underneath. Let's see what it looks like. It's starting to look like something. I gotta throw these axles up on jack stands. I am out of jack stands, guys. I got 3 sets. Got those, but those are not enough. So I need 2 more sets. 2 more sets of jack stands, and we'll get these things lifted up. In the meantime, we got this motor here. So I'm gonna have to pull it out from the back, label all this wiring so I know where it goes. Take it all off so it's easier to mock things up. And then we get that and we place it right here. That is easier said than done, so I'll get to it. As I've previously mentioned, I will be using the 2GR FE engine. This is from a 2007 Lexus ES350. Supposedly made 272 horsepower and 254 foot-pounds of torque. I think this is going to be plenty enough for this little truck. When looking for motors, I was looking between Toyota and Honda, specifically the 2GR and the J35. After doing some researches, many hours of researches, it looks like Honda did have the best reputations for automatic transmissions. So I ended up with a Toyota. I think Toyota has decent reliability, and it would be nice to have VTEC, but that's all right. Look at all this wiring, guys. Oh, am I way in over my head? Let me know in the comments. We'll get this figured out. It's not my first rodeo. I'm glad we got all this off. Now, it's gonna be much easier to put the engine in and out of the frame. Now that we got the engine all stripped from the wiring, let's see if we could place this inside the frame rails and kind of see where things land. All right, guys, finally got these axles up on jack stands. Had an unfortunate event. Had some porch pirates steal some jack stands that I bought. Bastards. But here we are, the Dana 60 here. It's starting to look like something, guys. So now I gotta make these motor mounts. So I'm gonna start off by modifying this bracket. I just need to cut right up against that line because we don't really need that piece there. And then shave these notches down flat. And it should be good for this one. Driver side is all mounted up. We're going to try to replicate something like this on the passenger side. What we got here, I will try to incorporate 3 of these bolt holes and these as well. And it's going to sit something like that right yonder. Since these bolt holes have not been used, there's a whole bunch of grime and dirt and debris in there, so we're gonna chase these holes out so we have nice clean thread. Got my CAD, cardboard aided design, and it's gonna go like this. So you just gotta trace this out on a piece of metal, make some bends. Nice. Finally got this piece mounted. What felt like forever trying to get all these bends correct. I had to go back and forth a couple times, but now we got that mounted. I'm gonna make a top piece here. So where this is gonna mount. Got it mount, thinking maybe throw even a gusset in here so it doesn't want to pull apart. I don't know what you guys think. I think the shape inherently makes it definitely stronger, but I like to overbuild things. There we have it. One motor mount. Got both of these mounts done. That side and that side. I have to build this one, but I'm waiting for parts to come in. I ordered one of these, but slightly longer. So we're gonna level this engine out, get it placed where I think it's gonna be, start building out these mounts on the sides, and when the part comes in, I'll get the front one done, and we'll leave it at 3 for now. I know I'll have to do the top one right yonder, but that's for later. Now we're gonna build these brackets that come off and support these motor mounts. I think that's gonna look fairly good. We went from this to this. This process takes quite a long time because each piece is a little bit different. I do have a CNC table, but I think it's faster for me to just make a cardboard template, trace it out, and then cut it out instead of me being on the computer. I'm still new to Fusion 360, so it takes me forever. But we're gonna keep doing it by hand for now. Let's get these plates figured out. Bam, just like that. We got one motor mount done, tacked in. And we do the same thing on this side. Hopefully a little bit faster this time, but So guys, we got the engine sitting on its own weight, got these motor mounts done. I went ahead and did this front one temporarily because I'm not sure exactly how this mount is going to be. I'm planning to have cross members running on the bottom. And I'm just going to leave this for last because I still have so much to do here. But the engine is in, and I am liking how this is turning out. This is how much clearance I have between the cab and the engine. A little bit of space between this bolt. But engine's pretty solid. I think once we have this mount in, it's going to be going to the right to keep the engine from going side to side. I think this is going to be perfect. That is a wrap for this video. We got the motor situated right where I want it to be. Mwah! Turned out perfect. Next video, we're going to be building the links for the suspension. It's going to be a little tricky because it's not your typical build. I have to work around the drive shafts. So stay tuned. Hit the like, hit the bell, leave a comment, tell me what you guys think. Till the next one.